Why is it that the grammar police are so broke? You ever think about that? And why is it that there are people out there, writers, authors, marketers, who will put up sales pages, write emails, they'll have the spelling and grammar mistakes, and yet they'll make millions of dollars? Why is that? Could it be that maybe grammar isn't actually the most important thing in the world? And I know if you're a grammar police officer, this is going to offend you, and I hope it does. I hope this bothers you so much that you never read another email of mine again. Because whenever I get these unsolicited, whiny complaints about grammar, now I'm not talking if someone's saying, hey, heads up, Derek, just wanted to let you know there was an issue in the email. Okay, that's fine, that's respectful. But there are people who whine and cry like a little baby about a grammar mistake, and oh, it's so unprofessional. And if you're a professional writer, your grammar, everything should be perfect. It's like, are you kidding me? I'm not writing to be the best grammarer in the world, okay? Like, I'm not trying to be the best speller person, right? Okay? This is not my intention. My intention is I want to save your life, literally save your life with health and fitness concepts, or with authors, save your life financially, emotionally, keep you from making mistakes that could cost you thousands of dollars. I am so fired up about helping you and helping the people in my audience. I just need to get that message out there. It's written in the day, and I got 30 minutes in the morning. I'm like, let me get my email out. Yeah, there might be a few spelling and grammar mistakes. Big freaking deal. What are you going to get out of correcting someone for that? Okay, I can't go back and change the email. Well, this isn't about me, though. You see, this is what other people experience, and this is what you'll experience. I saw a guy post on Facebook. Someone complains because he didn't put the comma after the word hi. Come on, people. Really? Doesn't have a comma after the word hi? People have nothing better to do, and this is the point. The grammar police, why are so many of them so broke? They're focused on the wrong priority. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking spelling and grammar. If I'm writing a book, I'm going to hire an editor. I pay an editor to go through my writing, check spelling and grammar. I do have an editor. But for a daily email, it's more important to get you information as you need it. And my biggest thing is the information clear? Do you understand it? If I misspell a word, miss a comma, whatever, do you still understand the message? Yes, then that means communication took place successfully. Okay? And if I make a mistake, hey, heads up, just wanted to let you know that's cool. I'll check it going forward. But I'm imperfect. I'm human. I'm going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. The people who feel the need to change people's grammar, here's the mistake I would argue they're making. They're majoring in the minor, as Tony Robbins would say. If someone's hired you to do spelling and proofreading, then by all means be obsessed with spelling and proofreading. But if you're not in spelling and proofreading mode, imagine a family member has cancer, and imagine a doctor has a treatment that can help save their life, and the doctor sends you an email and says, hey, here's my recommendations or whatever. I don't know why they're sending you email recommendations, but go with me on this. Are you going to be like, yeah, okay, whatever, this whole thing that's going to save my family member's life, this is going to save my daughter's life? Yeah, I would maybe take you a little bit more seriously if you didn't misplace that comma. You misspelled that word, okay? So, yeah, I appreciate that you're trying to save my daughter's life, but you don't have perfect spelling and grammar. I can't even take anything that you're saying seriously. That's what people are doing. That's not much of an exaggeration when you're talking about information that can save your life. So what are they doing? Here's my issue. They're so concerned about grammar, which is important, but communication is more important. And human skill sets, human interaction, people skills, that's what I'm going for. Oh my God, Derek, you didn't think of the perfect word to say right there. Yeah, it's called being imperfect, which you can do. You can be imperfect. So what happens with the grammar police? I notice a few things. One is they're broke and they're looking for a way to get more jobs. That's fine. There's no judgment. When I say broke, I'm not being judgmental here. I'm saying that isn't it interesting that they have this skill set that's not really making them that much money? Why is that? Because they don't know how to communicate effectively with people or persuade people. You want me to hire you as a proofreader? Coming in and criticizing is not the best approach. I mean, or maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I don't know. Think about yourself. Do you just love when people come in and say, hey, here's all the things that you're doing wrong in your life? Do you just love unsolicited advice givers? Do you just love someone who says, oh, you're going to eat that? I don't think you should eat that. There's too much sugar in that. You should eat the. Do you just love the people who do that? Or do you go, hey, that's it's not really the best people skills there, you know? There's a way you can do it in a way that's cool, and then there's a way you can do it in a snobby way. Why is it that the people who want to be the grammar police, 95% of them do it in a snobby, annoying, criticizing way? Just something to think about. I wonder how that's affecting them. Maybe if they spend a little less time focusing on worrying about grammar and a little bit more time developing people skills, persuasion skills, and real communication skills on an emotional intelligence level, maybe they'd actually be able to generate a little bit more money even from their proofreading. Second thing is, a lot of times the grammar police are perfectionists. So all their need to correct other people is applied to themselves. I notice this. I do a little research on people who correct grammar, even if it's not mine, by the way. And just a quick note, a writer, this perfectly illustrates this. Ian Stanley has made millions and millions and millions of dollars, sold millions and millions of dollars worth of products from his writing. And he wrote a book, great book, Confessions of a Persuasion Hitman. He talks about like an old English teacher of his was like, well, I hope you got it proofread. I hope you make sure it's all proofread. And he's like, really? You're like, he's sold millions of dollars worth of product. He doesn't care if there's a few spelling and grammar mistakes. Yes, he cares to get it edited, but like if there's a few mistakes, who cares? If people are so obsessed with that, they're focused on the minutia instead of the very thing that can change their life, take care of themselves and take care of their family. Okay? But here's the thing. It's a symptom of this perfectionism sometimes, not always. And what happens is I notice a lot of times people who are really obsessed with grammar, they either, they don't get their books out there. They don't get their books out there because they're constantly trying to make sure their book is perfect, which it never is. So they're suffering the consequences of their own perfectionistic attitude, okay? Or they get books out there, and I look at so many people who are like obsessed with grammar and their books are barely selling. And I'm like, you're so obsessed with these little details that you're missing the big boat of all the people's lives that you can change if you just are an effective marketer. It's about being effective, not being perfect. Okay, so why do I bring all of this up? Well, first of all, yeah, it's a fair warning if you correct my grammar and you do it in a annoying way. I don't mind honest, like, hey man, just a heads up, you might want to check this out, all good, I know you can't change. But when you're whining about it, I banish you. You get unsubscribed. I don't even tell people I do it all the time. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I'm just like, you're unsubscribed. I don't need to deal with this. So the lesson for you is, if you get annoying people in your business who are just offering a ton of unsolicited feedback, and I take it into account how they did it and what their emails are, feel free to unsubscribe them. Feel free to kick them out. Feel free to kick them out of your group. This is for your sanity. You need to preserve your sanity. If people are annoying in your life, banish them. Make them be gone. It's not they're bad people. I'm glad there are people out there in the world who are obsessed with grammar. I hire them to be my proofreaders, okay? But I don't hire the people who are annoying about it. That's the other thing. The second lesson for you is check your own priorities. If you're sitting there so concerned about what other people are doing, maybe that's grammar, but maybe it's something else. Replace grammar with how are other people eating in their diet? What are other people doing with their exercise program? What are other people doing in their relationships? What are other people doing? How are other people spending their time? What are they watching on TV? What magazines? What music do they listen to? Who cares about what these other people are doing? Focus on how you can serve. That's the key thing. Focus on the value that you can bring. Focus on changing the one person that you can change, which is yourself. I invite you to do that. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but just consider what would happen if instead of going out there trying to correct everyone else, you just took a step back and said, A, is this really the most important thing to be addressing? And B, am I really going to change all these other people, or could I spend this time dealing with myself? Because here's the final thing I think of when I get emails from people like this. And it's not even me. A lot of times I'm just seeing what I'm talking to my peers, and they're talking about the grammar police and what they've said to them. And I just think if you have enough time to send an email and try to correct something which can't even be corrected, okay? It's one thing if you catch a grammar mistake in a draft of a book, but an email that's already been sent out, what do you want them to do? Come on. Be real about this. So if you're spending your time doing that, what if you spent that same amount of time sending an email to your audience? What if instead of saying, oh my God, I can't even take you seriously because you have a misspelled word in there, blah, blah, blah. What if you sent out an email to your audience that says, hey, how can I serve you? Hey, what do you need? What do you need help with? Hey, what's the challenge that you're having? What if you spent that time going into a Facebook group and someone who's actually asking for help, you answered a question for them? What if you spent that time doing actually constructive value add in the world? That's my question. See, that's the thing that bothers me about the grammar police. No one hired them for this job, but there are people who might hire you to do proofreading and who will pay you money. Get a real job doing proofreading if that's what you want to do, or go out there and help people who are asking for help. Or if you really feel you want to help someone, be like, hey, I noticed something that you did. I noticed a few mistakes. Are you open to some feedback, or would you like me to help you correct them, or all good if not. Develop some basic people skills and communication skills. So this is my final point. My total bias, communication is far more important than grammar. Grammar is in service to communication. Okay, it's important. I'm not knocking grammar in this. I'm knocking the grammar police mentality that some people have. And even that is just a metaphor for this perfectionistic, I need to fix other people and not actually deal with my own stuff. Or this idea of I'm going to focus on these minor details so I don't have to pay attention to the bigger, scarier things, like maybe how am I actually going to market my books? How am I actually going to help people in this world on a truly deep level? Grammar helps people. Proofreading helps people, but it's not the highest paid job. And again, it's not about money, but the reason it's not the highest paid job is it's not the highest level of transformation you can offer to people. There will be machines, trust me, that will do a lot of the grammar and spelling. Not as good as a human anytime soon, but eventually that job's going to be replaced. So in the meantime, I invite you to consider what's the deeper level of work that you can do. And if you're like, Derek, I'm totally with you. I can't stand, these people who feel the need to offer unsolicited feedback, then consider for yourself, how can you put up boundaries around them? But also, where might it be showing up in your life and going, am I focusing on the right priorities? So that's it. Love to know your thoughts. If you're horrified and offended that I ranted so much against the people and you're like, Derek, no, you don't get it, Derek. Grammar makes all the difference. You're so unprofessional that you say this. That's fine. You can leave some comments below. You can let me know that. That way I know who to unsubscribe from my list. And if you do appreciate this, feel free to share what your biggest takeaway is. Take care.